You probably don't think of Acura as being one of America's dominant automakers, but the MDX is definitely a boss. The MDX is Acura's best-selling model by far. 50,000 units last year compared to 42,000 for the smaller RDX. But more important than that, it's the best-selling large three-row luxury SUV. It outsells competitors like the Lexus TX, Infiniti QX60, Cadillac XT6, and Lincoln Aviator by tens of thousands of units each. Since the original MDX was launched in 2001, they've sold more than 1.2 million of these, and it's been updated now for 2025. It's a very mild update. The MDX was all new for 2022, but has a lightly restyled front end and some key interior updates. The MDX starts at $52,550 for an entry-level front-wheel drive model, $54,750 with all-wheel drive. But this top-of-the-line MDX Type S we're looking at today starts at $76,600 and comes fully loaded. The other MDX models all come with a 290 horsepower, 3.5-liter V6, but this gets a 355 horsepower, 3-liter turbocharged V6. That has 355 pound-feet of torque and can accelerate this to 60 miles an hour in the 6-second range. The Type S also rides on a performance-tuned suspension with air springs that can raise and lower the vehicle depending on what drive mode you're in, and gets a 21-inch wheel and tire package that wraps around front Brembo brakes. It has the same interior layout as the other trims, which has one very significant change from last year's model. Instead of the infotainment system screen that you had to control with a touchpad down here, it's now a touchpad itself, and it's even been moved a little closer. It's equipped with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Alexa, and Google built in. Unfortunately, while that is very welcome, Acura kept its clumsy push-button transmission selector, which takes some getting used to. The Type S also features a 1,760-watt, 31-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. The front seats are incredibly comfortable, and they come with heat, ventilation, and massage. Second row legroom is pretty good. Not amazing, but I fit well at 6'1". I don't fit as well in the third row, however. Legroom's a little tight back there, as is headroom, thanks to that sloping roof line. But maybe the most interesting seat in this vehicle is this center seat in the second row. First of all, the floor back here is nearly flat, so you can actually sit here pretty comfortably. But if you don't need to use that seat, you can fold it down and turn it into a center console, or check this out, you can take it out completely and create two captain seats with a pass-through to that third row. Behind it, the cargo space is also clipped a bit vertically, but has a good sized floor and a storage compartment beneath it. Now, you will never hear me try to make a rational argument for buying a high-performance family vehicle, especially one with 3 rows of seats. But this actually makes a couple for itself and has nothing to do with the speed. First off, while there's nothing wrong with that naturally aspirated motor in the other MDXs, this one really raises the proverbial bar. It's smooth as silk, and the sounds it makes, whether they be real or digitally enhanced, really are nice. But the other big advantage this has over the other MDXs is that suspension. Those air springs do a great job, and it's nice to have that level of adjustability, not just on firmness, but also on height. This is by no means an off-roader, but it can come in handy when there's snow on the road. MDX is built in Ohio on a platform related to the Honda Pilots, but it feels like a much smaller vehicle. They really have this dialed in with the sporty edge. And it absolutely fits with the image of a brand that competes in the IMSA Sports Car Championship. Steering is a good feel, the handling very predictable, even when the road's slippery like this. And it's just got a tidy little way about it. The brakes are excellent, and this really hugs the curves. It only weighs 4,700 pounds, which feels on the light side for a vehicle in this class. Big advancement for the Type S for 2025 is the new Acura Watch 360 package of electronic driver aids, which gets additional sensors and capabilities. Lane centering feature is very good, whether or not you have the adaptive cruise control turned on. One of the things Acura changed is the driver attention monitor. The old one was a torque sensor, so you had to keep your hands on the wheel and pull on a little bit to let it know you're paying attention. Now it's a touch-sensitive steering wheel, so you only have to keep your hands lightly touching it. Along with the third row, which could be a little bigger, and the gear selector, which I still don't really like. The only thing about this vehicle that's not great is the fuel economy, which is 19 miles per gallon combined. Although, to be fair, that's not terrible, and it's only 2 miles per gallon below the naturally aspirated all-wheel drive MDX's rating. Nevertheless, after putting nearly 1,000 miles on this over the course of a week, I found very little to criticize. It's as good as I'd want or expect a vehicle like this to be, and I expect it to hold on to that sales title again this year, if not longer.